Jordan checked off a lot of boxes last year, coming in a lot of expectation, wins Rookie of the Year, you guys win MLS Cup. What's sort of the next step for him?
Well, it's always harder to repeat something. So his first job is to try and, do at least as well as he did last year. And then his second one is to, increase the totals of goals, assists, good plays, because we don't measure Jordan's contributions to the team just via goals and assists, but actually good soccer plays. So we don't want to have, sophomore slump, anything like that. He's got to go out and he's got to, keep after it, keep getting better.
Where does he have room to improve as a player?
I think in all areas. Look, he's a big, strong, physical kid, right? He's got good technical ability, but it always can get better. His decision-making can get better. When to pass, when to shoot, when to drive at guys, when to, have a little patience. Some of the nuances of the game, like when you're going and your team's going really well and players feel it and they're just like going after teams and they can, make the game easier later in the game because they can score 2 and 3 goals because they feel the momentum. That's easy. What's harder to do is try and get those little subtle shifts of momentum and when we need to, okay, we're under a little pressure here, so maybe I need to be a little more conservative, maybe I need to just keep possession. Some of those subtleties he has to learn a little bit too.
You're heading into this now, do you have a theory on pacing for a whole season? How do you have any thoughts on, getting into it, keeping it going?
Well, we can't pace ourselves through any matches because the league is too much parity. So the match day, the mentality is we're coming to win. The pace or the length of the season and all that, I leave into Dave Tenney and his sports science hands. I mean, he's the guy that does all that work to, make sure that the players are healthy now after a short off season and then fit and ready to go come, hopefully into December. So the pacing might come more on the physical side. The mental side is we've got to get after it right away.
And then it changes from week to week. Somebody may be hurt, somebody may be dinged up. That's a reality of it as well.
Yeah, that's the reality. And then, shuffling rosters in. We're blessed with a pretty deep roster and getting guys minutes here and there. And, it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, maybe Jordan takes a knock. Well, I can put Will Bruin out there for a game if Jordan's not 100% and maybe use Jordy as a sub. I mean, there's just little things like that.
And then it pays off at the end because that guy has the experience.
Well, the experience, and Jordan's a little fresher because he might have taken some minutes off his body. Bruin's a little sharper because he's played minutes.
Yeah. Do you have any fear as being the team that was the ultimate bounce off the canvas that maybe in the back of the mind is, we can always come back from anything?
That is, I would say yes. We talk about that. It's something that we've discussed as a coaching staff, how we get them to, motivate themselves for games now in March and April. Last year was pretty fast, and the messaging was every game was a must-win game. The reality is those guys are smart enough to know this first, game isn't a must-win game, right? So how do you get them motivated? That's going to be the key for us.
And your thoughts on that?
We've been driving the message home pretty succinctly. At least that's what I think. I mean, you guys will tell me on Saturday if I was right or wrong, but we've been driving the message home pretty succinctly.
What's the status of David Olsen as we didn't see him out here today?
Yeah, Tyrone Mears kicked him.
Seriously?
On accident. Of course, Tyrone on accident. But one of the plays late in that game, Tyrone, and he twisted his ankle and he's out.
So he's with the team ostensibly then, or?
He's still trying out for the team, yes.
The team seemed to play well defensively. How do you feel like this back four has played, and especially with the question of who's going to be your right back?
Well, that will be an ongoing question since, Brad's on the shelf a little bit. So Gustav's good. Fish will probably be ready for Saturday, so that'll be the choice we make. And, we'll see how this first game goes, and then I can tell you more. But defensively, as a team, starting with our goalkeeper, back four, Ozzy, we're a pretty good defensive group.
Boost the first team in the depth. The team seems to have gotten quite a bit younger, especially compared to last year. Are you happy with that direction, and are you hoping to keep that kind of the same, as a younger team in the next couple of years?
Okay, well, so the young versus old versus good player versus bad player discussion, we go round and round and round because everybody has an opinion. So we're not going to sit there and say that Clint doesn't have value, Zach Scott, whose testimonials today didn't have value at an older age. But we also understand that we need guys like Henry Wingo, Christian, Jordan to come through and make impact in games. So I would hesitate to put a number on, okay, we got average age of our team has to be younger than 26. I would hate to put us into that box. But of course, we know that athletes, a little younger, a little faster, a little better, we get all that. But there's something to be said that the experienced guys have up here that still make them real valuable members of the team.
Gustav seemed to come in as a little bit of a
last couple guys
value add, maybe a little bit of a bonus. I don't know if you guys had planned on him being here all off season, but now with him potentially being thrust into a starting role right away, how big was that addition, and what's he meant to have him around here?
I think he'll be big the entire year. I think you guys will get to like him. I think the fans will get to like him. He's a very smart soccer player. Okay, so he's not quite over the hill yet, but he's a very experienced guy. So I think you guys are going to like him. He can fit multiple positions, but obviously we're going to try and find the right one for him. I don't want him to be the jack of all trades, master of none, but he will be able to fill in. Hopefully he'll do a good job, and then, as the season wears on, we'll find room for him.
pretty spirited last 45 minutes. Do you get a sense that this team is ready to play something that really counts?
You mean this training?
Yeah.
The training was good today. They were good today.
Yeah.
They were in a good mood. I think they're ready. I think they're, still, I still worry, to your point, I worry about, can we get them motivated? But days like today give us hope. So I think they're ready, man.
In regards to Jordan,
Last one, guys.
It seemed like there were times that he last season was better playing out wide. He felt like with Nelson he had a little bit more freedom when he was playing the 9. Do you feel like he can fit that position as the lone 9 in your formation this year?
Sure. Jordan's got a lot of talented players around him. I think what Jordan meant with that, yes, area of the field for sure. But when Nelson was there, Nelson was such a good player, such a good guy as to why we won a championship at a little older age, right? But he needs some help. Well, okay, now we have Clint Dempsey that helps him. And, Nico continues to help him, and Ozzy continues to help him. So he's got good players around him. He'll be fine.